This particular video will be about inspiring creativity and pondering waiting on the Lord. So if you've watched any of these before, you know the way that I approach art journaling is that I like to make it a playful place to play around with different art supplies. And today I am going to use my inexpensive craft paints, perfect for art journaling so that you're not using your really high-grade professional paints in your art journal. But also it just helps contribute to being relaxed and enjoying the process of dabbling and playing and seeing what colors work with others. And the other thing that I really like to do, and I'm going to do today, is I like to incorporate a scripture verse, something that has spoken to me and kind of brought up a lot of thoughts and a lot of prayers and a lot of ideas for how I might want to walk more closely with the Lord Jesus. So today's verse, I'm going to go ahead and read that now. This whole concept spoke to me the other day in Psalm 27, verse 14. It says, "Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Yes, wait for the Lord." And the scriptures are full of verses and stories about the importance of waiting on the Lord. And one of the stories is the story of Abraham and Sarah. And God had told Abraham, Sarah's going to have a baby, even though she's, I think, in her 90s and he was in his 90s or hundreds or something. And they were long past the age where they were biologically able to have children. And Sarah laughed when she heard this, and Abraham believed it and had faith in it. But later, when 10 years went by and they still didn't have a child, the promised child from God, they rushed ahead of God and tried to make it happen by Sarah giving her handmaiden, Haggai, to, was it Haggai? Might be Hagar, sorry, to Abraham to basically make a baby with. And they did, and that baby was Ishmael. And as you may know the whole story, Ishmael then created the whole line of Ishmaelites, which today we know as Arabs, and the Israelites and the Arabs have been kind of fighting ever since. And then later, Abraham was finally blessed with Isaac. But that's a really good story, an important story for how we as humans, if we think God has promised us something and it doesn't come true right away, we tend to jump ahead and try to make it work. I'm guilty of that. Oh my goodness. I look back on my life and it's like, oh, why didn't I just wait? I should have just been patient and waited, because then it would, what the Lord had for me, excuse me, allergies. What the Lord had for me was so much better than what I tried to force or make happen. So that's the verse that is kind of driving this art journaling page. And then on the way back from the doctor, in my yard, I went ahead and picked this beauty and off one of my plants that I just planted, and I don't know what it is because they put the wrong tag on it at Home Depot. And then these are, I think these are mini roses, but I'm not 100% sure, but this has been a bush that has been in our front yard. So I picked these two as my inspiration, and I'll just see where things go. So let me turn you around and we'll go ahead and we'll get started on this. So let's pick up the camera here and flip her around. Okay, there. And I'll put it up above. Hi, Tammy. How are you today? Okay, so here is our art journaling page. I've got just an old plate for my palette. And let's see here, I need to mess around with the computer real quick. Excuse me, ladies, I'll be right in business here in just a minute. Every time I put my camera up above, the computer stops showing me the live for some reason, and I don't know why. Let's see if I can find it again. Okay, Creators Creatives Art Studio. And there it is. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I've got this flat brush. It's just an old cheapy brush. And I kind of have a little idea forming in my mind. I will probably write the scripture verse kind of around like I sometimes do, or I might write it up at the top. I'm not sure. I just want to get playing and let myself just enjoy the creative time. So I'm going to start with some Bimini blue. And let's get a little Bimini blue. I'm going to put a little bit of this Mediterranean blue. Just the tiniest bit though, really don't need much at all. I'm going to get my brush nice and wet, and I'm going to go into that Bimini blue, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get a background that's scruffy, meaning it's not going to be super careful. It's going to be rough. I'm even going to grab my white paint. I think I'm going to do some, I call it swish swash. Swish swash. I don't really have another name for it. I don't know what else to call it. Let me get these little guys off here. Okay, so let's just kind of pull that white in also and just start making a background. And this is just kind of to mimic some atmosphere, the sky, if you will. Okay, so that toned that down considerably, which is perfect. Now I do want to come in and add a little swish swash of that Mediterranean blue in just a few places. And I'm dabbing in some white too. So I'm just going to kind of swish swash, swish swash. It's fun. Let's see here. I need to pull the video up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of pulling in some streaks of that color. I'm going to pull some more water in on my brush. I'm going to pull that color down a little bit further. Let's grab some white. Let's just get that crazy action going. This is the fun. These are the fun backgrounds. Very fun. Okay, put a little bit more white down here. A little bit more water on my brush. And let's pull in. Okay, so there's some atmosphere. I'm going to pull in some greens down here, I think. First, I'm going to get this side of the page a little better. It didn't get quite the coverage. And I'm going to pull a little bit of white and cover up just a few of those spots that didn't get some coverage. Okay, there's that. Let's do some greens. I have all these fantastic greens. I have grass green. I have Kelly green. I have Hauser dark green. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to put some of this on the bottom of the on the bottom of the painting or the art journal page. So I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, try to give a hint that there's some green, dark green grasses down here at the very bottom, kind of coming up into the sides a little bit. And again, I'm kind of really wanting to be free and messy. Okay, let's pull in some different green. How is about some Kelly green? Let's see what we can do with some Kelly green next. And I'm not going to put very much on my plate at all, just a little bit. And just start working that in. And I kind of have this idea in my mind that I want to paint this in like it's like a bush, because that's what it is. It actually grows on a bush full of those. They're beautiful. All right, so just getting some layers of greens down here. And I just kind of am going back and forth between my Kelly green and my dark Hauser green. And then let's get some lighter green going. Maybe we'll just dip into my white, actually, and kind of let that really blend in up here. And pull in those lighter greens. Again, kind of making a little bit of an atmosphere, but a more to the ground atmosphere. And then I'm going to go back into my dark Hauser green. I don't have enough on my plate. I'm going to pull in the Kelly green instead, then back in over some of those places where I put a lot of white. Okay, now I'm going to stop there for right now, and I'm going to just kind of try to understand from a composition standpoint, where do I want these? And I'm kind of thinking, I kind of think I want my bush to be a little bit off to the side, and maybe these kind of jutting out. That's kind of where my heart is going. So let's go there. I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Where's my smaller brush? I set it down, and now I cannot find it. Did I set it under here? Oh, here it is, right there. Found it. Okay. Let's take a look at this. This has a nice green stem, but it does have some browns in there. So I might take some grass green, and I'm just playing here. A couple of drops of grass green, and then I may take a couple of these drops of the chocolate brown. That's just an apple barrel, melted chocolate it's called. And I may see what happens when I blend those. And that's kind of a nice dark stem. So I might go ahead and use that for my stem. Now this is kind of a fat brush, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of shoot one right out there, shoot another. I'm gonna shoot some of these, and let's pull this one up. Okay, let's get a little bit more paint on the brush here. So I've got 3, and then I'm kind of thinking I might want to add these to kind of cover there. So this stem's going to come, you know, kind of crazy. It's going to go all over the place. And I have to make some more of that color. So let's get a little bit more of that stem color. So these just kind of go all over. They branch, all helter-skelter. There's a nice big branch there, little branch. So there's our branching one. And we'll just kind of keep this. I'll make these kind of just be more of the leaves. And then these will have the flowers on them. And maybe I could do, let's see, let's try, maybe we'll put flowers on some of these too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the stems for right now. I'm going to see how I like it. Let's grab a new brush. Let's see. I want to find a brush that's going to allow me to give the little tiny purple leaves a, this is a nice kind of tiny little brush that might do. We'll try this. Now this is purple iris. Let's see how we like purple iris. Get some purple iris on there. Let's get a little bit of this poetic plum on my plate in case I want to mix it. Totally different. See the two different purples, very different. I'm going to start with poetic plum actually. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my little hint of my flowers in. So this is kind of poetic plum is going to be the base color. And we'll get this one in. And I'm kind of not doing just dots. I'm kind of slithering my brush around a little. Let's kind of pull some more pronounced dots here a little bit. And let's get one started on here. Alrighty, this is fun. And I love having this right handy for inspiration. That is the other part of this that I just am so enjoying, this Inspiring Creativity series, because I am going out into my yard and I am finding actual things that God made and using them as inspiration. Nature is so beautiful and calming, and God designed it for us to look at and to be calmed. Hi, Linda and Jean. I see Tammy said hello to you. For some reason, I'm not seeing you all there, but hello, hello, welcome. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm just loving the part of going out into my yard and finding inspiration from flowers, from leaves, and any number of things. Okay, so that's pretty good, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna let those be the only ones for now. I'm gonna go into this other purple, and let's just add this dark purple over the top in a few places. I'm gonna keep dipping in, getting lots of paint on my brush so that I don't have to push too hard. Kind of coming alongside the stem and then kind of pulling a few of these out to kind of float, if you will. And I'm covering some of the other purple, and sometimes I'm trying to not cover all of it. So I'm just being fairly random. And let's dip in and come over here. All right, keep loading up my brush. Just, I hope you make your own, and you just really cut loose and have fun and enjoy it. All right, dot, 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 dot. Kind of getting some of those covered up there on that one. All right, we've got one more here. Let's cover some of this poetic plum on this flower. All right, pulling this over some of the blue patches. But some of them I'm kind of allowing to show through a little if I can. Okay, that's a fat one. That's okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab some white. I had just a little bit of white left over on my plate. So I'm just kind of letting the purple mix in. And I'm just gonna plunk that white right on here and let that be the sunlight kind of hitting it. I think I'm gonna have to get into some more white here in a minute. Yeah, let's put a little bit more white. Okay. And just let's get some nice white little hits of light. And I'm just kind of dotting, and I'm letting it blend in some places, and I'm letting the white kind of stand out in other places. So let's get a little bit more white on my brush and be a little bit more, what's the word? A little bit more straightforward with my white in some spots. Okay, get a little bit of white on this one here. And I'm gonna let it kind of mix in with some of that wet paint underneath to make a really pretty purple. And then let's get some white, some fresh white. Just put a few white dots. Okay. I think I'm gonna call those done. Now, let's rinse this brush, this nice cute little brush. I might wanna keep it around for some more details here. Now I have these leaves that I want to add. So they're long and they're kind of pointy, but they're gonna be at all different angles. So I think let's grab this little cutie pie. I'm gonna go ahead and get some Kelly green, I think. And let's see how our Kelly green, actually let's mix a little bit of that dark green with that Kelly green. Okay, now these leaves, they go right up, way up to the top. And there's little itty bitty stems. So here's the little bitty stems. Okay, and then the leaf actually comes, just shoots right off of that little stem. And let's pull this leaf. We'll kind of give it a, actually I'm pulling it away from the stems. Let's pull this leaf down right there. And now I'm gonna set my little flower down. I'm just gonna come into this straight Kelly green and I'm gonna keep going. So I've got another leaf that I wanna plunk on right here. And this one I'm gonna kind of let it be a little bit curvy, like maybe it's facing a different way. This leaf is gonna come right over that stem. And we'll keep going. I'm gonna pull a leaf right down here too. And maybe one right here. So I kind of started with this one, and then I'll just go ahead and pull in some leaves for this one. And I kind of don't want it to go across my flower. You could, because in nature, that's what would happen. It would like go right across that flower. but I kind of don't want to. I want to pretend like it's shooting off behind that flower. And here's another leaf. And let's pull a leaf in that goes kind of across there. And we got to pull one that comes right there. So I'm just trying to get as many leaves in as I would see in nature. Let's pull that one into more of a curve. Okay, and then we'll pull one right there. And let's pull one right there. Just go right over the top of some of these other leaves. And I think I'll pull one down here. And then I'm just gonna, for now, just kind of add a little bit more of that Kelly green down here at the base. Just kind of flick it up a little bit. While I've got my brown out, I'm gonna mix that with the Kelly green and just get some different colors of grasses, darker, down here. Okay, there's that. Now I think let's go ahead and finish these leaves here for these guys. And I need more Kelly green. I'm gonna add another layer to these leaves too. When I'm done with the Kelly green. All right, so let's pull a leaf that way, and I'll just give an insinuation of a leaf right there. Hi, Pam. Hi, Sherry. Glad you made it. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of pull a leaf right across there. Let's start in on these leaves right here. And let's pull a leaf right there, and a leaf right here. Kind of letting them really cross over each other. And let's pop a little one in right here. Okay. I think that's enough for these guys. Now, I kind of want to get going on these, but maybe I should, let's do a little mixing of some white with that green, and let's just pop a little brightness on top of some of these leaves here. And maybe I won't do all of them. Maybe I'll just pop some brightness on the ones that seem like they're closer to this side. Let's pop a little white on that one. And just a little lighter shade on the tips of these guys right here. And let's get a little bit more white. Okay, I kind of want to brighten these leaves up right here. Yeah. Just to add a little bit more something, something. Okay, I'm just gonna stop messing with these leaves for right now. And these have leaves too. So I could go ahead and kind of plunk, and they're short little stubby leaves. I could go ahead and plunk some of those in right now. So I'm gonna get some white That Kelly green and a touch of that brown. And I'm just gonna start popping in little itty bitty leaves. Little tiny ones. Right here, right here. We'll pop one right there. Right there. So just kind of randomly, really popping them in. And let's give a little bit more strength to that stem. Okay, so I've got some leaves popped on there. Now I think I'll go ahead and from the side put these on. So none of them are really facing full forward. And they're white, but they're not perfectly white. So what do I want to do? Let's get just that little hint of brown. I mean, the tiniest bit of brown. And let's put it in our white over here and come up with like a little creamy color. I'm gonna start with that. So I'm just gonna pop in some of these little bowl shape flowers. So, oops, that's a leaf. Huh. That's okay. I could totally make it into a flower if I wanted to. Let's pull in another. Let's make this one a bud right here. So I'm just gonna give it like a little teardrop shape. And I'm gonna make this bowl a little bit wider. Okay, let's get some more of these bowls, little bowl shapes going. There's one here. And let's put one right here. And let's put one, I think I need to, I should have left some leaves alone. Let's put a bowl shaped one right here over this leaf. Actually, we'll make this one kind of forward facing. So I'll make that one kind of roundish. And I gotta get more white. All right, let's get some more white. Okay, so we've got our white. And I'm gonna get that brown from over here and just take that little dab of brown, mix it in on the side of the plate a little bit and get that kind of that creamy color. I'm gonna go ahead and pull some little buds in down here because as you can see there's a bud right there. So let's pull a little bud right here and I can pull a stem in later. We'll pull a bud right here. Let's get a bud right here. And we'll make this one a bud. And that can be kind of the stem. Let's see. I think I do want to pop something over here. Let's put, let's go ahead and cover this leaf and put a bowl shaped one right there. Okay, definitely got to let that one dry a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go back in and get some of that green stemmy color. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull the stems in on those little buds that I added. So wherever I have a bud coming off, just making sure everything has stems. So this one has a stem. And then let's pull in the little bottom of the bud. Just in a couple of spots, I'm just going to add like a little shoot of green on either side. I really want something white there. Let's get Let's get back into our cream color if I can, and pull in a little bud or something right there. And you know what? I really feel like I want something there too. So let's get into our brown, get into our white, and mix some more. I definitely want something here, and I want it to be kind of round. Okay, and maybe one right here. That's kind of a bowl shaped. All right, I've got something stuck to my plate there. Okay, let's pull that in. All right, so now I've got these. So let's grab our stem color, and let's just pop in these stems for these new buds that I plopped in. And this one, I'm gonna pull the stem down to this stem over here, and we'll just give a little leaf right there. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab just pure white, no brown, and I'm gonna kind of come in and just pop that white. And I'm just gonna kind of make circles for the front facing ones. Just to kind of indicate the different rows of petals. Let's do one, let's make this kind of a, sort of a front facing, but not totally. And let's pop in a nice highlight on that bud. Beautiful like white highlight on each of these little buds. And then for our bowls, I'm just gonna kind of come in and do the sides of the bowls in white, and then kind of just flay it up, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, there's that one. Let's grab this one, pop in that white, this one, kind of get that white on the sides, and then just pop it up. All right, and then I'm just gonna step back a little and see. I kind of would really like another one right here, but if I do that, I don't know if it'll make sense. Let's try it. Let's try it. Why not, right? I kind of want a forward-facing one right here. Right smack in the middle of all of that. And then let's see if I can grab some of that white, just plain white, and pull in my little circles. Now this is wet, so it's could blend a little bit. Let's see if I can't make it not blend. Well, it's blending, so I'll wait, and I'll come back and hit that with the pure white later. But I'm just gonna kind of take a peek at what I've got, and I've got my two flowers that were my inspiration, and I think that's enough, and I'm trying to kind of imagine how I want to write the verse. And let's quickly grab that verse again and just see how long it is, and that'll help me decide. Okay, Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Yes, wait for the Lord. So I'm kind of trying to imagine, wait for the Lord, or do I want to write it here? Wait for the Lord. I might want to go in wavy lines. I'm just not sure. I might even write it down here. Who knows? I'm going to wait and let this whole thing dry, though. That's the takeaway. and then I'll figure out where I want to plop the verse. And again, I probably won't use this big fat one. You know what? Just for fun, let's just pop a few little gold glints on some of these leaves. The ones that are dry anyways. And not all of them, but just some of them, giving a little hint of gold. That's always fun. And even in the stem, it's kind of fun to pop a little gold in from time to time. There. It's just fun to kind of throw in some other stuff, even down here. In fact, I kind of am really liking that. Ooh, yeah, pop of gold. It's fun playing with the gold. All right, I think I'm gonna stop playing with this and let it all dry, and then I'll figure out where I'm gonna put my verse, and I'll take a picture of it and put it up later. So thank you very much for joining me. Let's kind of show you this gold up close. Isn't that cool? And there's our little whatever flowers up close. And let's say goodbye. So good to have you all with me today. Thanks again. And if you watch the replay, be sure and say replay and say hello to me. Have a blessed day. Hope you have a lot of fun and take care. Bye-bye.